Golden, you've had a lot of success this season. 1,000 more people per game at attendance at your games. Yeah. How do you feel coming into this tournament?
We're excited to get back out on the court. Obviously, a tough loss to end the regular season, but we've been playing really well over the last couple months, and our guys are ready for tournament time. You know, we've been looking forward to this all season, and now to be in this position, we're really excited to be here.
You know, you were an impressive guard yourself. You've been around a lot of impressive guards. What are your thoughts on just how good Zion Pullen is and what he does for your basketball team?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that makes you look a lot better as a coach. I can promise you that. Him and Walter Clayton, for that matter. You know, I've been fortunate in my career to have really good guards, whether it was at San Francisco or here. And to have a leader like ZP who can just really control the game, obviously so good with the ball, one of the best assist-turnover ratio guys in the country, and just the guy you want to have the ball in his hands in late-game situations. He's been amazing for us. He's a great player. Finally,
what does it take to get you a win here tonight?
You know, the thing we've been talking to our guys about all week is doing the things that don't require talent. We got to get back on the glass. We struggled there that way, and that's been a calling card for us all year. And we got to do a great job taking care of the ball. If we can do those two things, we'll give ourselves a great chance to win tonight.
And so it'll be Chiwa versus Micah Handlogton to get us started. 4-1, both meetings between these two, but the game in Gainesville was a 102-98 overtime shootout, a game in which the Gators surrendered a 21-point lead. Silas Demery running the point for Georgia. They're going to play Chiwa straight up, at least for the time being, working on Handlogton. It's a big advantage for the Dogs. Hand off to Kane. Shot clock already at 5. Noah Thomason off the mark, and the rebound is finally controlled by Will Richard. Here's a look at the starters for Florida. It's been a consistent starting 5. Pullen and Clayton leading the way in the backcourt. They also bring power off the bench with spurt ability from Riley Kugel. Here's Richard from deep. Buries it.
And that's the guy you can't forget about if you're Georgia. They spread you out with so many shooters on the perimeter. Florida's kind of traditional. They got an old school 4 and 5 that aren't real pick and pop. But man, is their backcourt deadly from the perimeter.
Starters for Georgia look like that. Chiwa leads it short. The defense from Handlogton. 3 freshmen in the starting lineup for Mike White. The future is now for this Georgia program. Here's Tyrese Samuel. And the Seton Hall transfer draws a whistle. Mike White, former Florida head coach in his 2nd season in Athens, 15th season as a Division I head coach, took Florida to an Elite 8, 4 NCAA tournament appearances. Was the 2nd fastest in Florida history to 100 wins, behind only 2-time national champion Billy Donovan. Another one coming for Samuel. I think Mike White is talking with Doug Schaus right now about Florida's post defense and how Handlogton at only 235 is using that armbar and the body weight against Chiwa.
Well, these officials already get an earful. Todd Golden was mad about the jump ball. He thought Chiwa stole it across the line. So we're a minute 15 in, and
you think
officials haven't even broken a sweat, but their ears have.
You think every possession matters or what? Dylan James, one of the 3 freshmen in the starting lineup now for Georgia for the last 4 games. Handlogton basically has his hands off now. Something to watch. Late in the shot clock again. Pull up for Thomason. It's his own miss. Now Chiwa patiently inside, uses his girth to push it up and in. He's 7 feet, 275 pounds.
And you can't let him go over that left shoulder. He does not like to go the opposite way, and that time he got an angle on Florida's bigs and made him pay.
5th-year player out of Cameroon. Here's Will Richard for another triple.
We'll just show a little bit of zone there. They haven't played a ton of that against Florida. You got to locate shooters. Did a good job there.
Talking to Mike White before the game, he said we haven't really zoned them much in either game because they're concerned if they go zone is defensive rebounding. Florida is an elite offensive rebounding team. Not if they don't miss, and Richard throws it in. Quick timeout from Mike White. 7-2. Gators in front.
In the film room with Todd Golden and this Florida team earlier today, they said Georgia is vulnerable in transition, and you see it right there, pushing the pace, getting up down the court, and finding your shooter. Georgia has to do a better job of locating those shooters on the perimeter, getting back, identifying your man.
Todd Golden's second season as Florida head coach. The nice little extension that will be announced officially shortly, but it was a very good day for the Golden family.
Congrats on your nice little multi-seven-figure extension there. Well deserved, and retaining talent is a big deal in college basketball, and the same for head coaches, and these schools have shown in the SEC how serious they are about basketball and keeping some of the nation's best right here in the league.
Yeah, the league is invested. Both Golden and Lamont Paris in South Carolina getting those extensions today, and a foul charge to Will Richard. Russell Chiwa's coming off of a 5.6 rebound game against Missouri last night. He's not the most fleet of foot anyway, but he did have a twisted ankle that seemed to limit him. Tried to put it on the floor. It's stolen away by Florida. Then he plops right down on top of Will Richard in timeout.
Really good job by Richard. As soon as the big man put it on the deck, go after that, create a loose ball situation, make him pay. If he's going to try to dribble it out there on the perimeter, go get it. Great hustle.
Chiwa listed at 275. That may be accurate, or might be, it depends if you went to Biscuit Love this morning. There's Tyrese Samuel with a contested floater, and they're going to get Chiwa with a foul.
Samuel's not a guy that shoots a lot of outside shots, but they're very comfortable getting him the ball, whether it's pick and roll, against zone, right around that SEC logo. Has just a terrific soft touch for a big man, 5 to 8 feet away from the basket.
Well, this changes a lot. That is the second on Russell Chiwa. Tyrese Samuel at the free throw line, and now Georgia's going to lose. There's source of gravity in the middle, and there's so many things he does well that don't show up on the score sheet. Mike White is already frustrated with this officiating, but not the least of which is his ability to seal off defenders and allow for drives.
Well, and Georgia has no depth on that front line, whereas Florida has a ton of it. They start, 6'10", 7 feet, and then they bring in 6'10", 6'11" off the bench. And this could be the game within the game. Can Georgia's front line compete with Florida throughout this ball game?
Jalen DeLoach with a handoff for Kane. Dogs will be overly reliant on the jump shot now, it would suggest, and a foul from Handlocked. They're all sorts of tied up.
I like the move by DeLoach. I mean, you're not going to be able to back down Handlocked. You're giving up too much size, too much weight, so make the big man move a little bit. Look, quick spin move here. See if he can move his feet, draw a foul. Georgia's going to need to get themselves to the bonus. Their half-court offense can get stagnant at times.
Thought that was over the top there for a moment. I thought they were going to get in an arm wrestling contest. Turn your hat backward.
Really aged yourself a couple times this evening.
I'm not
tape deck.
You brought up the tape deck. It was
I brought up the CDs and the parental advisory I used to get away with. I did successfully purchase the Chronic and listen to Dr. Dre all day.
What else?
Sorry, Mom.
That doggy style? Three ball is good for Dylan James.
Dylan James, his shot does not look great, and it hadn't been terrific all season, but Mike White wants him to shoot that, and 6 of 18 in the regular season, but knocks that one down with a ton of confidence.
Samuel puts it on the deck, lost it. Off of the Dogs, and it'll stay with Florida. So here's the first wave of depth that Todd Golden can insert in the game. 6'11" freshman Alec Condon and former starter 6'5" sharpshooter Riley Cougar. Condon and Kugel doing their work on this side. Condon pushes it up and in.
Does that freshman have a ton of upside? 6'11" out of Australia. He's got the highest ceiling in terms of the pick and pop big that could really explode this Florida offense.
30% from 3. The native of Perth, Australia. Georgia 2 for 8 to start this game. Shot clock at 7. Silas Demery into a trap, kicks it back out. Ball fake for James, and a drive is short. Here comes Florida. Up ahead to Tyrese Samuel. And he touched it out of bounds. It'll be Georgia basketball.
You look at all the training and nutrition that goes into keeping these guys fresh to do back-to-back games, and there they were.
Yeah, I don't think Sundiata Gaines needed load management that day. He needed to win too.
Sundiata Gaines, man, what a player. His ball pressure, I can tell you from experience, you don't want to bring the ball up against that guy.
15 seconds remaining on the shot clock. How about the battle for Georgia here early on, playing without Chiwa? They've got R.J. Melendez in the game now. He had 35 in that overtime matchup against Florida on 6 of 10 from deep.
I think you got to spread Florida out, make them guard on the outside. You're going to have to make some threes in this one because the interior game is going to be difficult.
Frank Anselmibe hasn't been playing much, and we've got an injury underneath the basket on the right side. Florida plays on. Here's Poland.
At this point, they'll stop it, yeah.
Indeed. It is Jalen DeLoach, elbow. DeLoach, 23, coming down the lane right there. What happened right before that?
Anselmibe might have got him with the left hand right there.
Yeah, his own guy. Number 5 in black.
I think any hopes for a flagrant foul of Mike White are not going to occur there, but I'm glad to see, assuming he's okay, line already.
After further review, we're going to save the ball out of bounds on the sideline for Florida.
Doug Shaw's all over it. Roger Clayton Jr., second team all conference. Zion Poland, first team all league. 3 good for Clayton.
Well, you've got to make him put it on the deck. He is a good shooter off the bounce, but he is deadly off the catch.
He had 4 threes in the first matchup this season with Georgia. That was the shootout in Gainesville. Melendez trying to penetrate. Kugel picks him up. Now Justin Hill down the lane. Whoa, give him credit for the assist to Anselmibe. And now Samuel left alone. That is a shot that Alabama allowed Tyrese Samuel to take multiple times in the game in Tuscaloosa. And they were happy from an efficiency standpoint to let Samuel shoot 13-footers all day.
We've seen Florida get stagnant a couple times this season against zone at South Carolina, at home against LSU, where they were able to hold off the Tigers. And I think Georgia's seen something on that scout that makes them think they can control Florida.
Rims out from Melendez, a junior from Puerto Rico. Transition 3, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Gators. A couple of subs include Thomas Houck, who had a monster game. Best game of the season in the last matchup. Houck went for 17 in that one. He and Richard both back on the floor.
And I'm amazed at how well Florida's offense and their spacing is with traditional 4s and 5s that are just big, burly guys down low, but they do such a good job with dribble handoffs, screening, and other action to get their guards good looks. Todd Golden gets the best of all worlds. You don't have to give up any size and still keep your offensive spacing.
They get Kugel for the foul, trying to fight through the screen. Golden, 3 years a head coach at San Francisco, 24 wins in an NCAA tournament. The guard at St. Mary's, where his wife Megan was the WCC Volleyball Freshman of the Year. Had a great season last year, but came up just a little bit short. And after a slow start in conference play, they found their stride in mid-January. Mid-range jumper splash for Noah Thomason.
Great job of inside out. Thomason moving without the ball. Comes to the post side there. Ready to shoot.
Condon from the elbow. Got all the way in to 10 feet. 88.
Well, it's pretty clear Georgia wants Florida's post players to have to beat them and stay glued to the outside on those guards.
5 misses for Florida, 0 offensive rebounds so far. Richard gets it in.
Strong take by Richard. 2-foot finish, absorbs the contact, gets it to go. Transfer from Belmont. Richard done such a nice job for his Florida team, giving them yet another scorer and shooter. That time takes it all the way.
And an illegal screen results in a personal foul for Anselm Ebe. 3rd turnover for Mike White's team here. Squad only shooting 31% early on.
This is the type of physicality. You usually don't want to go on that high side. You want to stay locked on to the shooter there. But because he went through with a physical nature, picks up the foul.
Ball lost on a drive by Kugel. That zone defense has worked wonders for Georgia. How can they find some offense?
Well, the guards are good penetrators. And see if you can get a mismatch. See, I would have liked him to take the big man off the bounce, make them guard that far away from the basket if you get a 4 on you.
Gators in transition, hoists another. Richard bangs it home for his 3rd 3 of the game.
Man, he has come out on fire and ready for this one. 3 triples. Georgia was right there, hand up, didn't matter.
Largest lead of the game for the Gators. Melendez. Crossover, pull up 3. Nice shot.
Couple tough threes in a row for either team. Off the bounce, contested shots. Got a good rhythm going right now.
R.J. Melendez played in a couple of NCAA tournaments. Brad Underwood at Illinois. Again, it is an inefficient shot, or maybe put it more succinctly, the least efficient shot for Florida to lean on the post for those 10-foot jumpers.
Yeah, they're leaving them open right there in the middle and just saying, hey, play one-on-one.
Poland from 15, that's a different story because he can get hot.
Yeah, he loves the mid-range shot. As the basketball world has gone to at-rim shots or threes only, Poland is an exception.
Justin Hill launches a 3. Rebounded by Poland. Feels like a danger zone for Georgia. Down low, dump and the layup good for Richard, who has 13, already surpassing his per-game average.
And they get it out and go, and those long misses right there allow for Florida to get out in transition. Georgia must hustle back. Can't get beat down the court.
Another 3. Melendez again. That career high that he had in the first matchup of 35. Kane thinks of 6 threes, and he came off the bench in that one also.
He's a streaky shooter, but when he gets going early, you get worried as an opponent, and he's got it going early.
Poland commits the foul. Will Richard is hot. R.J. Melendez is hot. Luke Kane back on the floor for Georgia. This is a Florida team that can put up a lot of points. 7th in the country, as you saw, in scoring nearly 85 points a game. They're on pace to set the school record that was set back in 1987. And the corner 3 is good from R.J. Sunahara.
Really nice design play there with Demery driving hard to that baseline. He knew where his shooter was going to be in that opposite corner.
Out, working against the zone, picks it up for Condon. Condon going after Chiwa's, playing with 2. And a foul on the rebound will go against Alex Condon. So Chiwa back on the floor. That's big, and it's opened up some spacing, including getting this corner 3.
Yeah, that's a design baseline drive, and that's why he attacked it so aggressively and confidently, and great spacing there. They got to make Florida guard on that perimeter and use your lack of height right now to your advantage, which Georgia has the smaller team. You got to make sure they're the faster one too.
Demery is not small as a point guard, 6'5". He's a big-time recruit, 4-star, who was originally committed to Southern California. Pulls from 3. And the rebound yanked by Richard. Poland on the bench for a moment, so Kugel takes his spot. Now he'll launch. Kane lets it go out of bounds. Georgia Dane has not played well. They've shot just 35% from the floor, but they limited Florida on the glass. 0 offensive rebounds, even doing it on the zone, and it's a one-possession game.
Florida's one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. And Todd Golden told his team earlier today, he said, look, that's what won us the game earlier in this season against Georgia. They rebounded over 40% of their misses.
Richard able to tie him up. Georgia retains possession via the arrow.
Yep.
And Florida leans on guys like Samuel at 6'10", Hanlogton at 7'1". Hanlogton and Condon, great offensive rebounders. Shot clock at 10. Here's Demery downhill. Loads on the breaks. Inside to Chiwa, and Hanlogton with a reach in. It's his second.
That's one of their favorite plays, is just get into the paint, reverse pivot, and expect Chiwa to have his man sealed down low.
What a story. Russell Chiwa, 2 seasons at South Florida after spending the first season playing at Texas Tech. A long way from Cameroon to Lubbock. Noah Thomason with the jump stop. They say the foul is on the floor. No shot. Georgia in the bonus now. Everything cool. Is it confusing? You got to figure out which hoop to shoot at.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for serving me because I didn't see it. I am all for props. Another one coming for Thomason. Arrows would say real hoop. Shoot here. Maybe the band has too much time.
I'm not sure it's going to work. But it's awfully creative.
Hey, it distracted the TV guys.
Just glad they made it a clear backboard, or the fans behind them would be pretty frustrated.
That's smart. 8-0 Georgia run over the last 2 minutes.
It is again. Look at Samuel right there in the middle. That's a nice counter. Use him as a screener. See if you can keep it in the guard's hands.
Poland finds Samuel, and he's going to the free throw line. We've got a 1-point game.
Will Richard for Florida is a guy that can maybe give you 2 or 4 points some nights, and then when he's feeling it, he can get you 20 plus. Well, for Florida fans, we got good news for you, because he has been feeling it early in this one. Seeing a big rim in transition, pulling up from 3. We've seen him get to the bucket as well, hunting his shots, teammates finding him.
Here's Samuel. Ooh.
He didn't even have to deal with the basket behind him.
I know. How do you get through? And a Georgia rebound after the 2 misses. Dogs on an 8-0 run over 2 minutes. Georgia has never led. Amibe finds a cutting Kane, and he draws a foul from Samuel.
Kane is really active. He'll cut off the corners. He doesn't stand. This time he's going to come off a little guard-to-guard screen there, and not afraid to attack the basket. Samuel with a lot of ball, but they saw it with the body. I'm not sure Georgia's playing tonight if it wasn't for Blue Kane.
By the way, Will Richard nursing that shoulder after his shot, has been stretching it out. Kane and Georgia led Missouri by 12 in the first half. Then they were down 8 in the second half last night, a 20-point swing. They sealed it by scoring the final 12 points of the game. And Missouri missed 3 cracks at threes, including a game tire that would have been a well drawn up play by Dennis Gates from Noah Carter in the corner. Kane again. We are tied at 21. Condon goes to work. Pump fake, got him a foul. Anthony Amibe with his second. I talked with Todd Golden after the Alabama game where the Crimson Tide really took advantage of the Florida fives from 8 to 15 feet. And he said, it's our job as coaches to put those guys in a better position. Give them the ball on the court where they can score, or, as you just saw from Condon, allow them the freedom to put it on the floor, get a little bit closer.
Right, and turning down that 5 to 8 foot jumper and just take it at them, get deeper where they're a little bit more comfortable. That time drawing the foul.
Alex Condon on the SEC all-freshman team. That's first big, so honored for Florida. 14 years, I believe, the last being forfeit. Florida just 1 for 7 from the free throw.
I believe you and Jimmy at South Carolina, right? The Florida game where South Carolina went some zone late in that second half. It wasn't until late in that game that Florida really started ball screening at the top of that zone. And so while they are getting open looks for their fives, I think you want to keep it in the guard's hands, screen a little bit more up top.
Kane with the drive. Follow, put back, good by Jalen Deloach for his first bucket. The Dogs have their first lead of the contest.
And they are winning the offensive rebound battle, something I did not expect in this first half.
Well, statistically, nobody would have. Florida, 4th best in the country in offensive rebound percentage. They have 0 tonight. Clayton, no. Another team rebound for Georgia instead of a Florida offensive board.
Deloach has come back in this game and just kind of gets in there and fights, pushes around a little bit. You see he's been tended to by the training staff after taking a shot by his own teammate Ansel Nibe. Had him out for a few minutes. Those are just extra points, but that's how you pull off an upset, is getting some of those unexpected buckets from role players.
Kane rolling off multiple screens. Dives right past Clayton. Misses another layup. Last time they got an offensive board off of it. Gators trying to go back in front. Here's Clayton downhill. And that is out of bounds. It will be Georgia basketball.
On the other end, that's the tough twos you want to force if you're Florida. Keep Georgia trying to attack the rim, but have to shoot over contact in the long wingspan that the Gators front court has.
Gators without a bucket over a 4-minute span, and in that time, Georgia's gone on an 11-1 run. Silas Demery hard to the hoop, and it falls off. Condon was trying to get out of the way. Instead, he gets whistled for the foul.
He's such a good penetrator, and Clayton just completely opens up. He thinks he's going to get some help, but Demery never used the screen, and obviously confusion there on what the defensive coverage was. Demery, a very physical guy for just a freshman. He plays with a toughness like an upperclassman.
Job by Deloach. Screen off Condon to lead with the foul, and Silas Demery's got another free throw. Silas Demery has come off the bench only once this season. He was the last SEC freshman to start every game this year. There's the real hoop. 0 for 2. Do you think that fake hoop is regulation? Here's Condon with the feed and the jam.
That's a nice post feed there. Good catch and strong finish.
Deloach gives it up for Hill. Penetrates, bounces off to Deloach. Had it, would have gone straight up. Now over the 7-footer. And Jalen Deloach at 6'9". It's a big challenge, but he's able to get it.
And Todd Golden wanted to tech because Deloach talked all sorts of trash to that coaching staff after that one. They didn't catch the talking.
How could the open floor foul?
Well, Deloach pretty excited coming back into the game, getting 2 quick buckets, but Todd Golden saying, hey, what the heck, man? You can't talk to our bench that way. Let's see what happens here after Deloach gets the bucket. Gets the 2, gets the bounce. Letting everybody know he can't guard me.
He just said the 6'11" guy was too small and then pointed to the Florida bench, R.J. Melendez. And he's getting a chat from Doug Shows. And this chat might be pretty simple. That, hey, but if we catch that, you're getting teed up.
And I think he just told Doug, I was just pointing out the facts that nobody can guard me down low. I'm feeling it right now.
Georgia's zone has really paid off. Here's Pullen. And Howe going after it hard, collided with him. There's a lot of different ways from an efficiency standpoint why the zone has been effective and impactful. Not the least of which is what you're not allowing. And you're not allowing Florida's guards who can catch fire any moment and carry their team to really get going, especially from deep.
And that one was a good look. They got the ball screen. You get pulling to the mid-range that he likes, but the zone just keeps you out of a rhythm. You never get into any offensive flow. So Florida's got to try to do some things to get their guys moving around, because those set shots and unassisted type plays is what has them just 24 points so far this first half.
Walter Clayton. There he is at the top fighting with him. That was Demery.
Making his case that Demery was holding me.
This time I saw a hand fighting like that was trying to get on the elevator at a hotel. It was hand-to-hand combat.
A little bit crowded, huh?
You don't have the same problem?
No, I just kind of wait for the elevator time when I'm complaining. Well, you know, you and I have two different expectations in life.
Largest lead of the game for Georgia. I thought you were going to suggest I take the stairs. Scoff in the general direction.
Well, Georgia's got to be thrilled with this first half. They've got Florida completely out of rhythm. They've only turned the ball over 3 times, and they have stopped Florida from getting any second chance opportunities.
Condon challenge and a flex from Deloach after the rebound. Maybe the secret is playing with that one plug nostril. He has played like a man possessed. Here's Kane. Deloach feeling it. To Kane for the midi. Kane has missed a couple makeable shots, 3 of them as a matter of fact. Clayton puts it on the floor. Rejected at the rim by Silas Demery. Dogs lead by 4, looking to add to it. And it goes by Justin Hill.
It's a nice opportunistic push by Hill. Doing a great job after a made basket, sprinting ahead, getting your defense set.
Clayton around Melendez, and he got hog-tied by Deloach. Picks up his first. Here's Clayton at the free throw line.
I'm so glad I didn't have wings before this.
I know, me too. I didn't get any wings. Neither did Alyssa, but Alyssa was listening into the Gator huddle. What do you got?
I was going to say rivalry between the studio folks and game crew. No chance.
Pick your side, Langer.
I can't. You're all my boys. I was standing there listening to Coach Golden and his assistants really getting after their post players when it comes to offensive rebounding. None so far. And that was a big focus coming in after allowing 20 to Vanderbilt to end the regular season. They are not happy with these guys getting off the O boards.
They also allowed, and by the way, Florida only had 6 in this game, to your point. Melendez splashes down the 3. It is a 7-point Georgia lead.
There's been a knock on Florida this season. It's their inability to play 40 good minutes of basketball. That's what allowed them to jump from an 11 seed over about a month to a 6-7 seed. And Joe Lunardi was that consistency, but that's left them here of late.
Beautiful spin by Deloach. Denied. Here comes Clayton. But to continue what Alyssa was talking about, in addition to the failure to get on the offensive glass and allowing Vandy to do so, they also allowed 16 Florida turnovers to turn into 19 Vandy points. After the game, they said, we just came out lackadaisical. Can't afford to do that in this tournament. Mike White's team with a 5-point lead. Florida just won for its last 7.
This is a Georgia team that's much better than its seed. Yes, they started the SEC tournament on Wednesday last year too, but everybody knows around this league how much more improved and better this Georgia team has been. You're seeing it right now.
Micah Hanlongton is 40% from the line, misses the front end. There's Thomason, who got called for the foul, his first. Hill hangs, hits, doesn't hit, but he got hit. So he'll go to the line. It's a third personal on Micah Hanlongton.
Well, and Florida's gathering right now to the basket, but it took some convincing to get guys to come together. They're starting to kind of go their separate ways. The frustration, the body language is something Todd Golden can't be happy with right now.
I want to add one thing. The lack of offensive rebounds. There have been at least 2 Georgia team rebounds on long threes that have kicked all the way to the sideline and out of bounds. Spring football's coming your way this weekend. Eli Drinkwitz's Mizzou team will be on the field in Columbia, 2 o'clock Eastern on SEC Network Plus, ESPN Plus. Eddie Cook and company getting the work in this offseason after a sensational year last year in Como. Hill knocks them both down. 7-point lead. Chiwa has managed this first half despite picking up 2 early personal fouls. Floater Clayton.
They can get open looks right there in the middle of the zone. And Georgia's saying, look, if your mid-range 2s are going to beat us, hats off to you. I don't think they will, says Mike White.
Florida team that makes 8 threes a game. Physical drive and offensive rebound lost out of bounds to stay with Georgia. .206 to play in the first half. Here's Melendez off double screen and they get Kane. It's his first. Samuel working on the baseline this time. Now out to Clayton. Got the screens from Samuel. To Poland. From 15. Nope. Samuel offensive board. Their first of the night. And it results in a whistle. Pardon me, that's your third. They had a couple a moment ago.
That's part of Todd Golden's message that Alyssa reported on was, hey, guys, we're going to get some inside shots. And typically inside shots lead to inside rebound opportunities. As soon as it goes up off the glass, be ready to go attack. Samuel does it there.
Tyrese Samuel, 6'10", 239.
Boy, can you lose confidence quick at the free throw line, though. He needs to see one go in. That's now 1 of 7 for the big man and 4 of 12 in the first half for Florida. When you start losing confidence down low as a big man, all of a sudden you don't go up as hard and as aggressive and as physical against contact because in the back of your mind you really don't want to get fouled.
Difference between a chicken wing and a celery shake. 5-point dog lead.
Way to tie all the games together. One very confusing line for anybody.
It was all over the app at the hotel today. Floater no, and Samuel yanks it down. Here comes Florida. The top scoring teams in the country, 7th in the nation. 85 points a game, and Samuel went high. Throw it down. There's some confidence.
Wow, the ball screen, the lob. You could see that coming with the hard, aggressive roll by Samuel. And put it on his head after that.
Owen Thomason behind the back. Shot clock now at 5. Gives it up. A heave early. Still had a couple of seconds left. 6-second difference in the shot clock and game clock. Pullen drives and kisses it off the window. Another surge for Florida. It's come on the defensive end. Dogs haven't made a bucket in 2:46.
And I like that they didn't slow down there. You had Georgia retreating, and the faster you play, the better you have an opportunity to score from Florida instead of settling for close to the last shot.
It's been a roller coaster ride. Gators led by 9. Dogs led by 7. Game clock at 2. Kane left it short, and they call it goaltending. And barely certain he got it off before the clock hit zeros. They're going to look at the goaltend and look at the clock. There's a lot to figure out here on this last possession.
The previous play is under review. After review, we have a goaltending call. We'll also get the ball out of bounds to Florida on the baseline with 1.3 on the game clock.
Alex going to have to deliver a strike. He was a Tim Tebow fan growing up. Samuel catches and had a quick timeout. Holy smokes, 4/10 of a second left. He may have gotten the timeout before he actually came down with it.
That's knowing they had the height advantage. We did feel like that's a completion they'd be able to make. And then he calls the timeout there. Really might be able to get a couple more tenths of a second as Todd Golden showing why he's earned that extension and has Florida in settle for this last possession. This looks like a lob based on how far away he's standing from the defender taking it out.
Out into the corner. Turns and fires. Great looking play, and it was just off the mark.
Defensive emphasis at halftime to slow some of Florida's momentum.
Set our zone. Our zone's been really effective for us. We're not a great zoning team. We hadn't spent a lot of time on it this year. Just try to throw it at them. These guys are so difficult to slow down. Got to defend the glass. We're falling for some shot fakes on the interior. A couple fouls that were ill-advised. But overall, really pleased with our effort.
What did you think of the way your team played offensively in the first half?
Stagnant at times. We're trying to do some different things. We didn't find a great rhythm. Neither team did offensively, obviously. But I liked us getting downhill a little bit more late half, put pressure on the rim.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
In 2 years, Todd Golden has not lost head-to-head with Mike White. Alyssa Lang had a chance to talk to the head Gator. What'd you hear?
Yeah, I asked him what he emphasized at halftime. He said, I thought we started a little jittery. We just needed to settle down. He said, not happy with the free throws right now, just 4 for 13. We got to make more of those. I asked him, do you have to talk about getting on the offensive boards at this point? He said, you know what? We got on them early, but I thought they did a much better job in the final 4 minutes. We'll see if they can continue that in the second half.
All right, thank you. Silas Demery with the foul. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have another 4 for 13 performance from the line. It's the second time in 3 meetings, by the way, Georgia has led at the half. They did so mid-February in Athens. There was a 6-point lead. Florida came back to win.
They're going to change their percentage at the free throw line. It's going to start with 4 and White here. Samuel, I like him being aggressive there, though. Misses that free throw yet again.
You know,
1 of 9.
You talked about confidence for him. That dunk he had on the lob in the first half tied him with Al Horford, with 8th most dunks in school history.
I remember being underneath the basket for a few of those.
Not the view typically choose, but the one that you were provided.
Too little wasn't really a hand gesture back then, but didn't need to be said anyway. But that was a big free throw for him. See if that can't give him some confidence, because you've got to have him continuing to be physical down low.
Demery penetrates, got the whistle, and got the roll. And is the first field goal of the night for Silas Demery.
And he's able to get that off because Chiwa is just taking up real estate. Look at 54 in black. He's just going to keep this rim protector out of the way. Says, go ahead, young fella. Shoot over the top of me and the help defender. I'll get him out of the way for you. And then he gets the and one.
It's a second on Zion Pullen. And Longton playing with 3 fouls starting the second half for the Gators.
Georgia knows Florida's going to be prepared for that zone, so they come out in some man-to-man.
Oh, man. And Samuel just couldn't get set to offer the screen and gets whistled. And you could tell by the reaction from the Florida bench, Todd Golden, Kevin Hovde, this is what they set up in the locker room.
And they just never got set in position. And part of that's on the point guard. You got to set your man up going into that ball screen a little bit better. Give your big man time.
Great point. Here's Kane giving it up. Aggressive move from Dylan James. And he turns it over, stolen by Walter Clayton Jr. And then poked free on the other end. And Butterfingers on both sides here in the first minute.
sloppy basketball right now, which...
You know what that means? That means we're due for crisp basketball tomorrow. Everything's going to even out, and tomorrow's going to be an amazing day here in Nashville. Here's Handlogton. Not the guy he wanted.
Handlogton said, "You're not at tomorrow yet, Tom Hart. We're still here. You better stay in the present."
Top 4 seeds take the floor for the first time tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of blue and a lot of orange in the building, I believe. Demery kicks it out. Here's Noah Thomason. 3 on the shot clock. Left-hand layup. Good.
You cannot let him get to that left hand. They guarded it okay for the first 25 seconds or so, but then a breakdown towards the end of the shot clock.
Bounce to Clayton. Sidestep 3. And Samuel fighting with Chilo for the rebound.
And that great closeout there by Georgia, because Clayton is such a deadly shooter off the catch. But if you can make him put it on the deck, it's not that he can't make it, but he just shoots such a higher percentage when it's catch and stick. 41% off the catch in SEC play. When he has to deck it, that goes down to 26%.
That foul is charged to Blue Kane. It is his second. The break for Georgia that it wasn't on Chilo. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Pollard. Banks it in. Pollard's got 8 on 50% shooting. Here's Chiwa. Patiently directing the offense. And now Thomason out of the double. Chiwa downhill. Big fella with the reverse. Well, that is like a semi-changing lanes. Be careful.
And gets to the other side of the basket with a little bit of reverse. Says, "You going to play off me? No problem. I got it."
Clayton, another sidestep 3. Handlogton the board. Taken away by Demery. Then a foul by Poland, which is his 3rd.
Florida's going to play Chiwa like Georgia's been playing Florida bigs, except Chiwa says, "All right, you're going to play off me, no problem." Showing some athleticism. You're not the 7-footer former soccer player. Shows you his agility out of Cameroon.
Didn't speak English until he came stateside, originally Putnam Science Academy. Finished up his high school career before heading to Lubbock and then Tampa. Here's Kane. Off balance, and that's rejected, but they get it right back. Plenty of time on the shot clock. No need to rush. Thomason downhill. And he's blocked from the side. Great play by Walter Clayton Jr. And now Richard Dixie-Doo. He's got 15, and the Gators have cut it to 4.
Outstanding second effort by Clayton. He got beat off the bounce, but did not give up on the play.
She was. The 3 goes. I don't think you get Sheila for a screen. Instead, they're going to get Walter Clayton.
Just when you had a 4-point swing in your favor for Florida, where you take away the shot at the rim, leading to the Florida transition, you get yourself in a 4-point play here, and you just can't go underneath that screen on Thomason. You got to try to fight over the top. Got detached. Thomason gets the and 1.
So Noah Thomason, grad from Houston, started his college career at Houston Christian. He's looking for another opportunity. Went the JUCO route, ended up at Niagara. Only had 1 scholarship offer coming out of George Ranch High School in Texas. Poland, floater, good.
It's his spot there.
He's into double figures. They're really fighting Chilo, working with Condon. 3 ball, no. Rebound, Clayton. Florida had a 10-point advantage in fast break points in the first half. They would love to pick up the tempo in this.
Samuel was calling for it, but they were unable to find the mismatch. See if he can make this floater.
So the victory lap before falling.
That's the mid-range that's going to be open for them all game long. They're unable to convert in the first half. Now they see a couple go in, see if that causes Georgia to make an adjustment.
Here's Sunahara. Thomason spins. Pivots out. Hill going one-on-one. Got the advantage and got the whistle. He'll go to the free throw line.
In the first 2 years on the job. Bruce Pearl at Tennessee. John Calipari at Kentucky.
By the way, a bubble did burst in some ways, a bit deep out there in the 8-10 with the top 3 seeds losing, most importantly, at large Dayton. Took the loss to Duquesne today. Or tonight, I should say, in Brooklyn.
This free throw efficiency is troubling. I mean, teams are now combined 13 of 31 from the stripe.
How do you feel about it? The second of Sunahara. By the way, I want to point this out. We missed it going to break. Zion Pullen was charged with his 4th personal on that last foul right before break. So he's going to sit for a bit.
First team All-SEC guy on the bench right now. Fortunately, they do have depth and playmakers. You got Kugel coming in right now, and Clayton can handle the ball.
Samuel finds Cutting Condon in a double clutch layup.
Georgia loves to trap down there. A message from Todd Golden was bigs, don't stare at the ball, dive towards the basket. Great job by the freshman Condon absorbing the scouting report.
Denver trying to use his size and got Clayton to commit the foul on the floor. It is 7 personal fouls for the starting backcourt of Florida. 4 on Pullen, 3 on Clayton. Silas Demmer Jr. is a big-time recruit for this Georgia program. His dad was a great football player for Virginia State. Defensive Player of the Year in the Arena Football League for the LA Avengers. Chiwa inside. Just kind of threw it up and ended up on the deck.
Florida's bigs have held their own. They were challenged to play one-on-one and not get a double team.
Samuel fouled by Chiwa from behind, and the Gators will have the chance from the free throw line for their first lead since the 5:49 mark of the first half.
The big-to-big passing from Florida is really elite. Not often can you really trust the bigs to catch it down low in traffic. That time Kugel, the guard, obviously finding Samuel in traffic, but these guys just have really good hands down low. I'll see if Samuel can't make consecutive free throws.
It is crowded in there, right? There's a first for Samuel, kind of like the sidewalks down Lower Broadway. And Dane darkening the doors of some of the honky-tonks down there. Chiwa will get a breather. Florida looking for the lead from Samuel. Just 1 of 2 from the line on this one. Locked at 46. Here's Demmer. Samuel came out to help. Demmer got a switch with Condon on. Try to set up the big. Rising to Hall. It's rejected. Alex Condon with the swat for Florida. Kugel finds him. Back out to Clayton. Extra pass for Richards, 3.
Great defense there by Condon. You thought that was going to lead to a momentum-changing bucket for Florida, but unable to convert. Georgia hustles back. Great transition defense.
It's just been chaotic on both ends of the floor. I feel like that is advantage underdog Georgia.
It is. You feel like Florida's a little bit on the cusp right now of breaking through. As Demmer says, think again. Physical
warning for Jalen Deloach.
If I'm Florida, I'm embracing the fact that Georgia's playing a lot of man-to-man here in the second half. That zone was so effective for them. It's like they're going to be in a little bit of that zone again right now to keep Florida guessing.
Samuel on Ansel Amibe, who's in foul trouble, and he rolls it home. It's a 4th on Ansel Amibe.
You got to admire Samuel's continued attack down low. In the short memory, yes, he hadn't been making it from the free throw line, but that has not made him be a soft player. He has been in attack mode, knowing that's where Florida has the distinct advantage. Georgia's front line doesn't have the size, the height, the weight, and Samuel keeps attacking.
Three-point play for Tyrese Samuel.
Look, this is going to happen with Florida, whether it's in the SEC tournament or NCAA tournament. Opponents are going to say, their guards are all SEC. Let's see if their bigs can perform at an SEC level, all SEC level, and beat us. Samuel stepping up right now.
There's Melendez. Cut off. Samuel leading the break. Walter Clayton Jr. Baseline drive and a hand check foul on Jalen DeLoach will be his second. Florida only leads by 1 day, but it feels like they're about ready to pull away.
Yeah, the rhythm is starting to be in their favor. They're moving more on the offensive end, sharing the basketball. The body language is much better.
Fighting inside with Samuel on Melendez, and he's fouled again. This one will be charged at DeLoach, should be his third.
That's that big-to-big passing, a high-low. Easier said than done. You got to have some skilled bigs that can pull that off and put it right on the money.
And his Florida team is built kind of like an old school late 80s team. A true 4, a true 5. And at size disadvantage, Georgia ended up with Melendez trying to guard Samuel. That's a huge disadvantage.
And ideally, they would love to have a more pick and pop guy out there. And the freshman 21 Condon, I think, can become that over time. But they've been doing just fine without it. And I'll tell you this, as a non-shooter, I know how to still contribute on the offensive end. When a player is playing off you, then you can do dribble handoffs with your good guard. So oftentimes you'll see Florida dribbling at Clayton if the defender's playing off the big, and it creates a good 2-on-1 situation, taking advantage of the spacing.
That foul goes against Georgia. Doug Show's explaining it. And with Florida in the bonus, they're going back to the free throw line. We got Chiwa for the hand on the jaw of Condon. That is the fourth on Russell Chiwa. So Condon at the free throw line.
Chiwa went out in that first half. I thought Georgia did a heck of a job, despite being smaller and still giving some rim protection.
Another 3 of 8 from the free throw line in the second half. Not an improvement. Off balance, off the glass, rebounded by Condon. Condon got cut off. Spins around, and the foul tip, neither one is there. Loose ball, tipped out of bounds, will stay with Florida.
A great ball fake by Condon, and the pivot foot staying patient in the lane, unable to get it to go. So Florida continues to struggle, finishing right there around the basket, just 7 of 13 on shots at the rim, not including dunks.
Florida is 33% from 3. That's not awful, but they're also 33% from the free throw line. 7 for 21. Clayton shoves it up and in. It rolled down his hand, and he still had enough control to put it over the rim. It's a 3-point Gator lead.
He's better from 3 than 2, but if you run him off that line, he is capable of doing just that.
Condon was leaning on him. He gets whistled for his third.
When you got an all-SEC backcourt and you're a little bit sluggish here at the SEC tournament, you want to depend on these guys to pull you through, and Clayton, see if he can't get it going, absorbs the contact, kisses off the glass. Florida up 3.
Line transferred in from VCU, and he earns another. Florida's had a distinct advantage in the paint. Deloach at just 6'9", has had his hands full. Part of a VCU team that won the A-10 regular season and tournament titles. Played in the NCAA tournament.
Back man-to-man. They will switch 1 through 5 at times.
That was something that Florida really had issues with in their first matchup. Clayton whips it to the wing for 3. Got the miss. Putback isn't there. Deloach the rebound. Push ahead, stolen by Kugel. Ill-advised, poorly executed. Kugel with the floater.
Yeah, if Deloach throws a touchdown type pass instead of a chest pass, will make you have a chance. But he tried to line drive it right through traffic, and Kugel makes him pay.
Gators by 4. Who can be the threat on the offensive end for Georgia? Thomas, a beautiful move. 3, good.
He's really good off the bounce. He loves that crossover into his jump shot. Huge 3 for Thomason.
He had 26 in the last matchup with Florida. All-tournament team at Baha Mar earlier this season. Kane with the steal. Couldn't save it on the sideline. How about Noah Thomason?
This is one of the few players for Georgia that can really create their own off the bounce. Just give him the ball and he'll create his own space. Big time crossover there.
When he was at Niagara, he led Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, in scoring. He got up 15 shots a game. That is a volume shooter. Condon inside. Over to Loach. And the foul. And one coming. And Condon with a point right at him.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get teed up for that one. Really good move. As Deloach has been chirping all game as well, but he absorbs the contact, gets back over that right shoulder, lets him know about it.
Deloach sits with his 4th. Chiwa also has 4. Mike White's bench has been a strength this season. 22nd in the nation, nearly 29 points a game. They outscored their opponent by 10 per game. But he's going to have to go deep into it tonight. Condon finishes a 3-point play to get into double figures. And a technical foul. Mike White had moved up the sideline and he said something that this officiating crew, specifically Byron Jarrett, didn't like.
I don't think he liked the call to begin with. And I don't know if it was the taunting on top of that.
And so Clayton with the free throw. Clayton knocks them both down.
Uncharacteristic technical for Mike White. I mean, guy that keeps his composure on the sidelines is usually not a handful for the officials, but he was not happy about that and one.
Arguing the call of Byron Jarrett.
And his point is Deloach was straight up wall on the body.
With those free throws, Clayton now the 5th Gator in double figures. Georgia went on a late game run to get the win against Missouri last night. They were down 8 in the second half, and Howe commits his second. And they were able to put it together late. Do they have another run in them? Here's Dylan James, freshman from Winter Haven, Florida, at the free throw line. And White is still giving it to him. You know, we talk to officials about how they manage the game, and a lot of it, especially in a tournament scenario where it's win and you're done, they give you a lot of rope and a lot of leeway. And then even after you tee somebody up, you'll take it a little bit.
That's great judgment, and SEC such a tough league to officiate with the athleticism and the physicality all combined in one.
Kane, little dance move.
Really good move by Blue Kane.
Push ahead, Kugel behind the defense. What a block! And then a step on the end line, but man, Dylan James rose with Kugel and put it right back into him.
That is a heck of an effort by James after a really good advance pass. And, doesn't get much ball there, does he?
He missed the ball.
It goes down, and a lot of hand, shoulder. Certainly should have been Kugel at the line for 2.
Look good live.
Yep.
Here's how.
Like I said, athleticism and physicality, tough to officiate. No doubt. You saw it right there.
Matthew Alexander Moncrief getting some run tonight with foul trouble amongst the bigs. Commits his first.
Hey, this is not a lineup we've seen much of, if any, for Georgia in conference play. A bit of a makeshift deal to try to hold your own down low and still have some three-point shooting and ball handlers out top.
So here's Tyrese Samuel, who's now been fouled 10 times and is only 5 of 16 from the free throw line. Next Tuesday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. It's SEC Inside. All access pass to inside this SEC men's basketball tournament. Samuel 1 for 2. Demery gets cut off. Trapped in the corner. And turned over. Here's Clayton out ahead. Rises on Kane and lays it in with the left.
What a play by Clayton to go off 2 feet, elevate that high with the left. Full speed.
On the other end, a foul on the drive will send Noah Thomas into the free throw line.
The disruption by Florida to trap over there on the side and cause that turnover by Georgia. Can't handle the ball there. Look at Clayton. He's just going to size up the defender, take off 2, and where he took off from, I mean, he left probably 10 feet away from the basket. He wanted the and one, but finishes nonetheless.
And so it puts Thomas in at the free throw line. It was the third on Kugel. By the way, to your point about this Georgia lineup, this 5 have been on the floor together less than 2% of the time this season. And now
whatever it calls for. Yeah, whatever the game calls for, I guess. Gotta stay ready for your opportunity.
Another one for Thomason. He is 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Georgia just a tick above 50%, trailing by 5, 9 to play. Chiwa slacking off Samuel. By design, but then he got the offensive board, and now Kugel. Samuel touch, no. And Chiwa gets it ripped away by Houck. And it ends up being a foul on Chiwa after he lost the hand battle with Thomas Houck.
Multiple missed bunnies by Florida, but the stick-to-itiveness.
Pardon me, that was on Kane, not Chiwa. That's a savior for Georgia.
And this is where Florida has the advantage just time and time again with the bigs ripping it away. They're one of the best in the country at getting their misses. And Georgia just unable to corral that. But even though you're shorthanded if you're Georgia, the guards got to rebound down, get in the action. You can't just stand outside the paint and hope Chiwa comes up with it.
Kane had a shove from behind to pick up what is his third. Samuel knocks them both down. Florida's going to use a 30-second timeout. 63-56, Gators with a 7-point lead here in Nashville. It's a big bucket of yuck at the free throw line.
This reminds me a little bit of our prior game where you just get the sense that...
Whoa, what a feed and flush. R.J. Melendez first bucket of the second half.
Great design play by Mike White after the timeout to set up that backdoor feed. Emptied it out.
Florida clinging to a 5-point lead. Clayton extends it.
Big shot from Clayton. Georgia's going to have to match him on that. It was a great backdoor set, but you just get the sense that Georgia's going to have a few 3 balls here in the second half because of Florida's interior. You're going to have to try to beat them from 3.
Demery beats him to the rack. He only had 1 point at the break. He's turning on in the second stanza. Here's Kugel. Rise of fire. Payne had his hands on it. Florida ripped it away. The Gators have just stolen offensive rebound opportunities before that turnover.
So scary they can beat you in a number of ways.
One way is usually second chance points. You got 14 offensive rebounds, but only second chance points.
Denver's got to be able to shoot this behind that ball screen. There you go. If they're going to play off you like that and go into those screens, take it.
One possession game, 7:22 to play. Chiwa back on the floor playing with 4 personal fouls for Georgia. Out, tried to get it inside. Samuel lost his man and flushed it. 15 for Tyrese Samuel.
A 4-man to 5-man. That is just really unique. And they continue to make the smart play.
Clayton closes out on Demery this time. Chases him around the screen. Demery can't penetrate. Chiwa was wide open. He's got a mismatch now. They got to get it to him.
When it takes that long, the rest of the defense catches on.
Shot clock at 5. Thomason fires. Rebound Houck. Well, Walter Clayton looking a little bit winded.
He'll play some extra minutes at point guard with pulling with those 4.
Kugel. Pullen picked up his 4th with 15 minutes to play in the half. Richard lost it on the drive. Demery comes out of there with it. Here's Melendez. Full steam ahead. Rejected by Houck. Right to Chiwa. And he's fouled.
And a big play for Georgia. Every time you think Florida's going to start pulling away, they come up with a stop and a score. They force the turnover and push it in transition. And Chiwa.
Who's that coming down the tracks?
Just a great job by Chiwa. I just love his energy. We talked about last night how Mike White just says, look, win or lose, this guy's enthusiasm every practice. He's the most vocal, joyful, always smiling. That contagious energy that's made such a difference in year 2 under Mike White at Georgia.
Big free throw, 2-point game. As close as Georgia's been in a while. Another take Chiwa out on the defensive end with 6:04 remaining in regulation.
I think Mike White's not only seen Clayton get a little bit winded, as you said, but just the lack of ball security. Want to get Pullen back in the game here, even though he's off the ball.
Clayton with a burst. And corralled by Noah Thomason.
Just don't know that 1-on-5 with no pass is the first shot offense you want.
Paint touch to Loach. Took his eyes off the rim when he lowered his head. Here's Florida the other way. 5.5 to play. Pullen for Samuel. And now Houck got his feet set. Offensive board. Too strong. And kept alive by the Dogs. Silas Demery leading a 4-on-2. Nobody stops the ball. And he lays it in to tie it.
Great hezzy by Demery. As soon as he saw Florida go out to the shooters, he kept that dribble alive. Gets to the rim.
And we have had some bangers in this tournament. Georgia on a 10-2 run. It all started by controlling the glass. And now the Gators walking up the other way.
He's got to stop ball first.
Georgia to the zone. Big three from Clayton right on the top of it.
He is incredible. When you allow him to catch and stick and be in that rhythm, you got to find a way to make him put it on the deck and force him off that three-point line.
Demery now to the rim. Wow, Houck may have gotten a piece of it. Pullen full steam ahead, and that'll be the 5th on Deloach, I believe. Indeed, and on top of that, Melendez turned his ankle.
And depth really being tested by Georgia when you look at the foul issues, possibly an injury now. As Pullen goes hard at Deloach. Just a 4-point swing there with Demery with the
Tied for third in school history. He had 23 consecutive double-figure games, and it is contagious, huh?
Yeah. Without having your best free throw shooters at the line, it's about the equivalent of the team GPA resting on your shoulders, Tom Hart.
Nobody wants that. I am an APR disaster. 4-point Florida lead.
Written all over you.
Gators have shot a little bit better from the free throw line in the second half, but still not pretty. Thomason penetrates and dishes. Kane got caught with the bigs. Demery downhill. Another missed layup for the freshman. And the Gators have a chance to push if they want. Sheila lucky he didn't get whistled for his fifth. And Poland slow to get up.
Georgia has gotten good looks at the rim. Florida's rim protection has not been good the last few minutes.
Wow. Samuel answers that. And then he gets shoved. Samuel with his 11th double-double, 15 points and 14 boards in SEC tournament history since the 1979 resumption. After a long hiatus, he's got 16. This will be his 21st free throw attempt of the game. To tie B.J. Mackey's SEC tournament record 22 in 1998. B.J. made 20 of 22 for South Carolina. And a lane violation. One more coming.
Oh, plenty. They have Hill coming in early. Wow. For the three-point lines.
But Mike White at arms crosses cannot believe what has happened.
Well, while Samuel hadn't been efficient at the free throw line, he has been the best player for Florida in this game. So the story's been more about what he has done instead of what he hadn't with, 17 and 15 now.
Second chance he cashes in. 6-0 Gators run. A block by Kugel. Stays with Georgia, 3:38 to play.
Georgia's really gotten to the rim, and you got to feel that defender behind you and scoop it in instead of trying to lay it up with floater style above your head. Put it out in front of your chest.
6 blocks for Florida tonight. Here's Melendez. Moving pretty well after the ankle or foot injury a couple of minutes ago. Working on Howe. And now Kane, who's had a quiet night. Shot clock at 5 for Noah Thomason. Got pulling in the air. Couldn't pull the trigger. Shot clock at 1. Rolls home for Justin Hill.
28 seconds of good defense, and then Hill does a blow-by, gets to the rim.
Poland trying to figure out this Georgia defense. He's got Samuel on the roll. Never passed it. And the rebound knocked out of bounds by Will Richard.
I thought they had a high-low look there. If you give it to Samuel there at the high post. 7 feet out, down low.
Georgia's made 3 threes in the second half. They've been getting to the rim, and they get a foul, and it rolls home. Wow, what a play and an opportunity for the Dogs. Justin Hill going to the free throw line.
This has been a theme the past few minutes. Florida's guards have not been able to stay in front of Georgia's guards. They've been able to get to the rim, and if Georgia starts finishing consistently down there, this could be upset city.
And we've talked to SEC coaches who that's one of the first things they bring up in terms of a Florida weakness.
Yeah, it's their ability to guard the ball. And they've gotten better throughout the course of the season. That's a big reason why they went from an 11 projected seed as high as 6. But they got to start playing for their resume right now, because you don't want to settle for a 7-8 seed in the NCAA tournament. You're trying to advance.
Dogs have scored 5 of the last 7. Poland bounces into Samuel, not a good pass, and the tie-up will give it to Georgia, down by 1.
Poland usually a better decision maker there. You nailed it though. You're in too close proximity to try to bounce pass, and then you throw it at Samuel's heels. Poland unable to get into the rhythm he wanted to.
Where does Mike White want to go in this possession?
I think you keep spreading it out and let your guards drive Florida's closeouts. and just make Florida prove that they can guard you multiple times in a possession. Even if Florida guards you for 20 seconds, they've shown they'll break down in the final 10.
Straight at the rack, Samuel with the block, and it's scooped up by Kugel. Big shot for Florida. And an offensive foul charged to the Gators, and that's the 5th on Zion Poland.
What a play by Demery to cut off Poland, get in front of him, and force the push-off here along the baseline. And once he extended that arm out a little bit, Doug Shaw said that was just enough. I didn't see him push off on that. It was a great defense, a good closeout.
You'd be better with a no call there?
Yeah, I'd be better with the no call there. Ordinarily, once he extends that arm, that's where it's an obvious whistle. Big stop nonetheless by Georgia.
Dogs down 1. And another takeaway. It's Clayton Jr. this time. And he's fouled and he's going to the line after the make.
What a response by the Florida Gators. Their defense has let them down the past few minutes, but they get a shot block the previous possession, and then this time they guard the ball. They stay in the gaps in the help side here. Clayton just stays disciplined. And this is a couple times now here in the second half where he has been off to the races and beating Georgia down the court.
Walter Clayton Jr. perfect from the free throw line tonight and remains so. He's picked up the slack where Poland has left it after fouling out. Clayton's 13th 20-point game of the year. Timeout Mike White, and Georgia down 4, 1:51 to go. Chiwa on the floor. He's in foul trouble. Demery has been magnificent this second half, even though he's missed a couple of layups. Try to clear out. They want to get it to Chiwa. Guarded by Samuel. There's the bounce in. Big fella, patiently. Powers inside, and he draws the foul.
Samuel played it as well as you could. You want to make Chiwa go to his left over the right shoulder. He was about to take a lower percentage shot that you wanted, but then Richard gets greedy, slaps, and gets Chiwa to the free throw line.
It is the 3rd on Will Richard. Chiwa, 69% free throw shooter. You could see behind him, Justin Hill was trying to will that ball in with a little body language. 1:34 to play. You've heard whistles 50 times tonight. Melendez returns. Kane takes a seat. And Georgia's going to pick up full court. Into Richard, back to Kugel. And now Clayton. They trap him in the backcourt. Kugel able to take it. Dogs need to stop. They get it. They'll have the ball back with a minute to play. Down 3.
Expect switch 1 through 5 here. Florida's going to need to try to slip some of these.
They trap. And now Samuel at the free throw line. Floater. No good, but an offensive putback. Richard beat his man. Timeout, Todd Golden.
You don't have to settle. Certainly not for a contested 3. You've had good luck getting to the rim. You just got to watch this rim protection.
Demery hammers it into the corner for Thomason. No. That was the look they wanted. Yeah. Well drawn up play.
It was.
5-point deficit. 45 to play.
And they want the ball to get slipped to Samuel, and they want to foul him. Little old hack-a-shot. Look for the foul coming right now.
There it is. Good call. Demery commits his 4th. And Samuel has missed more free throws in this game than any player in SEC tournament history. He's been to the free throw line 21 times. 9 of 21.
I've said it a couple times, but I just really admire the fact that he never shied away from contact in this game. Most guys, when you miss that many free throws, you don't want the contact. The last thing you want to do is go to the free throw line, and he has stuck with it despite the inconsistencies at the strike.
Best case scenario, 2-possession lead for Florida. Should he make this one? A double-double for Samuel, 17 of 15. Missed them both. G with a rebound. 30 seconds to play. Here's Demery. Into Clayton. Thomason. Nope. And finishes there for Justin Hill. He's got 11. Quick timeout. 3-possession game with 22.2 left.
Keep an eye right there. They want him to come get this.
Aberdeen will pull the trigger. Gets it to Clayton. Trapped in the corner. Stolen. Melendez has it. Didn't get the whistle on the push shot. Gators get it right back in a foul of 15 seconds to play.
Just the carelessness by Florida. This is what cost them that last SEC regular season game against Vanderbilt. And good hands. Just got to be stronger with that ball. Anticipate the fact that they're coming and trying to swipe and steal at that ball first. Foul second. Lucky to not have a one-point game here if you're Florida.
To make it a 2-possession game, Kugel used every bit of it. Only a 64% free throw shooter. Condon will return for the Gators. Kugel got them both. Here's Demery. Down by 5. He got tripped by Kugel. Todd Golden went straight surrender code.
Good call. Adrian says, guys, we got to play smarter than this. Do you want to close out this game and get the W or not? Like, that's not the time to reach and gamble. Just be disciplined, stay solid.
So Georgia, which, by the way, remember, got a steal with its press in the last make and the last Florida inbounds underneath the basket. 2 big ones. Demery. Freshman bangs down the first. Aberdeen returns for Florida. Melendez back on the floor for Georgia. Demery has to make this one. Conley sings them both. Sunahara will enter for Demery. And Sunahara's going to try to get a foul. 12.2. He's on the ball in front of Denzel Aberdeen. 12 seconds left. Aberdeen hesitates and a foul on Kane. And he got Kugel, I believe.
See his Kugel. See kind of person up there. Their foul.
No time off the clock. And that might just close the window on Georgia's comeback attempt. Demery back. It's going to have to be make or miss. A quick shot from Georgia.
And for Florida, this has to be your smartest possession of the game. I mean, they've had some careless mistakes here in the last minute. Don't foul a 3-point shooter. Just play straight up.
Substitution issue? No time came off the clock, and they got a sub, so they have to put Dylan James in the game. Starter, first 11 games this year, fell into deep shooting slump. He's been money from the free throw line now. Last gasp for the Dogs. Hill drive all the way in and lay it in. 6.4. A Tom Mansky defensive video. This is
you know, you sit there and say no threes, but just another blow by. And the bigs that would ordinarily come over to try to block this, they don't want to get an and one, but gosh, I'm not sure you don't come over with a little bit more resistance there.
39 free throws for Florida, 23 of them taken by Samuel. Here's Kugel, fumbled it, but then gathered, and a foul with 5.3 left.
Good job by Florida, too, making that pass be a little bit longer, nothing near your basket. Don't bring too many guys up towards the inbounds passer where it gets too crowded.
I think Kugel 4 for 4 from the free throw line tonight. This thing is not over yet, but it could be with a make here. That is huge. And for Krugel, when he fell into that slump, he was 0 for 15 from threes. And 7 for 33. That cost him his starting spot, but he is quite the weapon to be bringing off the bench.
Florida to be able to close this thing out with your all-SEC first-team point guard on the bench, having fouled out and pulling, found a way to win.
Google yanks down the rebound to close it out. Todd Golden and company survive. What a battle on the floor. How about Walter Clayton Jr.?
Well, as we started the show, it's nice not to just have one all-SEC member in the backcourt, but two. And this is 2 of 2 here. Clayton catch and stick. I thought he made some tremendous defensive deflections and very opportunistic in transition, finishing with the left hand not once but twice for some critical fast break points that were hard to come by.
Zion Pullen did not have a great game. Walter Clayton Jr. did. He gets to talk with Alyssa.
Walter, you guys had to grind this one out. What were you telling your teammates down the stretch to finish it?
Just be mentally strong. You know, we knew it was going to be a game, and end of the year, SEC tournament, everybody bringing their A game, so just be mentally strong.
Tyrese was huge on the boards and drawing contact all night. What did you see from him?
Just him being himself. I feel like ever since the Mizzou game, you know, I went out in that game a little early, and he's taking like a huge step forward, and it's been great for our team.
What did Coach say to you guys at halftime?
Man, we was losing on the rebound. We was losing the rebounding battle, so he told us to fix that up. And that was basically one of the main things. He felt like we was getting out tough, so we had to come out and fix that.
I know you guys were excited for a new season, the postseason. What does it mean to advance to Friday for this team?
It means a lot, you know, but same mission, you know, go out and win the game, taking one game at a time, one day at a time.
Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all.
Florida-Georgia's a great rivalry, but, you know, on the basketball court, same thing.
Yeah. You guys have beaten them 3 times, and none of them have been easy. What was your message to your team getting into this one, Coach?
You know, we obviously weren't very happy with how we ended the regular season last week at Vanderbilt. So this was a good week for us to kind of get recalibrated, get back on track. And to be honest, we had a great prep day. I felt really good about this coming in. We played great early, got a good lead. And then, you know, just some fluky plays, things didn't go our way. We go into halftime, we're down 3, right? And we felt like we were playing hard. If somebody would have made some free throws, we would have probably been up a little bit.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
No.
It's a challenge.
Hey, but at halftime, you know, we were a little dejected, and it was, you know, because we had so much great energy. We were playing really hard, but we were down, and it was just, hey, let's take a deep breath here. Let's calm down. One possession game. Let's get back to making some free throws, settling down, getting on the glass a little bit. And we knew if we would do that, we'd be in really good shape. And we were down 3 on the glass at halftime, and we won the glass by 16 in the game. That's why we won tonight.
Let me, real quick before you jump in, I'm just going to throw it. Tyrese is all over the history books here, okay? We've been tracking it. Let's go back to 1979 since the resumption. I got the good and the bad for you. Here's the good, okay?
That's the good.
Second Florida player with a 15-15 game in an SEC tournament game,
There you
okay?
go.
Now, most free throw attempts by an individual player in an SEC tournament game.
That's good, but it's not good. Not today.
Most missed free throws by an SEC player. I just thought I'd share, man. You won the game. You get to do it again tomorrow.
Kind of events.
That's right.
So what happens now? Is it like 5 push-ups for missed free throw, or how?
I'll be doing like 50. 50 push-ups.
You got to be ready for tomorrow's game. Rest, hydrate. That's the important thing. Coach, you had a great interview with my man Fish before the game, and you talk about you control the effort plays. Turnovers, control those, and the effort plays. What are you most proud about for your Florida team to come out with this tough win?
I just thought we stayed the course, you know, and again, I thought we played all right in the first half. We just were down, and then second half they got a little bit, they extended it a little bit, but I felt pretty confident the whole way. And again, getting back on the glass was the difference.
Yeah.
We didn't give ourselves enough opportunities in the first half because of that. I think we had 12 offensive rebounds in the second half. And that was the difference in the game. I truly believe that. This guy was a monster. Obviously, we would like him to be a little more efficient from the foul line, but he changed the game and got us that lead in the second half. And, you know, he kept going. Even though, you know, a weaker player might have been dejected and wouldn't want the ball, this guy was a fighter as he is, and he's a big reason why we've had so much success this season.
You know, you're actually a cerebral player. I like that. 3-time, all academic, Big East, right?
Yeah.
But when you played Alabama last time, I thought that you guys dominated from start to finish. I think it's going to be less cerebral, more energy and effort. You're going to face a hungry Alabama team. What are your thoughts on facing the Crimson Tide tomorrow?
just coming out there, playing hard. You know, they're going to come play fast-paced. They got a lot of good players, Sears, Nelson, Estrada. We just got to come play good defense, rebound the ball, and make foul shots.
Hey, I think people are right. You did rip off 4 in a row at one point there in that second half, right? So, but this game tomorrow, like, as we start to look ahead a little bit, it's going to be fun, right? Like, it's got to be fun to play in this up and down game. And I know, Coach, you want more stops but they're such a good offensive team. What is it like playing and coaching and preparing for a game, if both of you could answer that?
Yeah, we played well at their place.
Yeah.
We were up 10 in the second half, had opportunities, and then we played one of our best games of the year at home against Bama. I feel like we have a good understanding of what makes them tick and why they're so effective. And we just got to impose our will on them a little bit. You know, we got to obviously, like Reese said, we got to defend Sears, we got to defend Estrada, we got to do a good job in their ball screen action, which is really hard to guard. But these guys got to dominate inside as well, and we got to do a great job on the glass and really own that paint area, which is what we did at home, and what really separated us in that contest. But to be honest, I like we got this game out of the way. You know, we got 22 minutes on the court before the game. Georgia played last night. You could tell they were a little more comfortable in here than we were early. But now we're the team that has that advantage. You know, Alabama's not going to have much time to prep, only a short warm-up tomorrow night. So I'm hoping that we'll be a little more settled coming out tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm sure you will be. You started 33 games at Seton Hall, and we've talked about this SEC tournament a little bit, but since you transferred, how does it feel to be comfortably in the NCAA tournament? You know, you're playing to win a tournament, not playing with a lot of pressure, just trying to get in this year.
It feels amazing.
Agreed. I agree.
No, we're not trying to fight, trying to, like, get all these wins throughout this tournament, you know, because this is a hard tournament. Like, every team in the SEC is really good. So, you know, just knowing that we're solidified already is just like our goal is to win this tournament and then get to next week and win some more.
Yeah.
You guys, this is going to be fun tomorrow. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be all 4 great, fun games, and the nightcap. Can't wait. By the way, I don't know what's official and not, but congratulations to you, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
You got it.
I appreciate it.
Takes care of business. They got Alabama in the finale tomorrow night on quarterfinal Friday.